everybody, how you doing? It's me again. It's another one of those days. We're going to start by dealing with this last part on the race series. Now, part number 3. So, remember, everything's happening. Man, the news, Trump, this guy is something else. Now he took out of the climate agreement. Now they're saying, we're the bottom of the charts for all of the, the environmental everything, But, to tell you the truth, it's just like NASA, okay? NASA really doesn't affect me, okay? Because of the fact that I don't have the kind of money to go into space. So we've got to kind of look at these issues, and this is part of what's happening too, and that's the reason why I kind of want to finish up with this this race thing, because the communication in this country is getting worse now, simply because of this guy Trump. Because if you look at it, and like I said before, the black community itself, we've been pretty steadfast about this. We probably, we were never really the problem. But yet you have a whole culture, you have a whole society that is designed to step on the black community and people that don't look like the rich, the wealthy, and the white slave owners. And now it's just wealthy people. It's white wealthy people. So if you look at the race issue, you have a whole country now that everybody kept saying, okay, well, yeah, this is a great country, great country, great country. But look what happened. Look at the issue when it comes to race. Because the issues that race dictates means that every person has an equal share. But you see, when you have this agreement that says that you've got this big melting pot, but the melting pot is burning, it's on fire, but people keep wanting to jump in. So I'm going to use one of these points here. We've got a lot of people coming from other countries, and the majority of these other countries are Muslim countries. Simply because of the fact that the people in the Muslim countries are treating their people bad. It wasn't just like, the Mexican people and then their people started treating them bad, so they all came to America. See, so really the race issue kind of stops here, because now that everybody's going to be treated bad all over the world, where does everybody get to go now? I mean, you're going to pollute this country, and especially the United States, with people like the Hindus, the Afghans, the Asians, and all these other people that all specifically have a different culture. See, this is actually the reverse of the Tower of Babel. You see, now you've got all these people coming here so they can have freedom to do what they want to. It's just not the religion. It's their freakish behaviors. It's the fact that in some of these instances, some of these countries, they mutilate their women from birth by not letting them have their organs. So, but see, you guys embrace them. It's just like the story I just heard here recently. Trump, this guy here is now all of a sudden telling everybody that everything's bad. Like the Accords, okay? Like Germany, or we can't help France, okay? We can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this, we can't be that. But these are the richest people in the world. Now they're getting more greedy. Now they're saying, forget these other people. But you see, the problem is the world has not learned since Marie Antoinette. So it's just not a race issue, it's a money issue. But the race thing comes down to things like this. Since my existence, we got people like Elvis Presley, the Kennedys, the Gates, and I'm going to throw in one of my favorites. You guys probably didn't know this. David Gilmour, Pink Floyd. One of the biggest givers on the planet. I mean, I've seen some other people give billions and billions and billions of dollars and stuff. That's only because they have, like, I remember when Ted Turner gave away $1 billion simply because the guy from the stock company, he gave $1 billion. So everybody started giving this $1 billion. But David Gilmour gives away all his money. I think the guy was rich from the very beginning. Because, when you have these opportunities and you're in these wealthy areas, you always have an opportunity. Actually, people bring an opportunity because you have the money to do that. And see, this is where the unequal behavior that even my master talks about, because, you see, these wealthy people have their heaven right now. They do. This is their reward. And, the scriptures have always said, these people here, this is the reason why everything is done equally. So the people here can actually choose, well, no, I want my heaven here. I don't want my heaven later. I want my heaven now. So I'm going to do everything necessary in order to do that. And this is the majority of certain cultures. There are certain cultures on this planet, money's the thing. We happen to fall into one of them here. My culture did anyway. But we're not the whole culture. We're only an abbreviated section of our black culture. See, because our black culture is worldwide. You see, the white majority don't think of themselves as Scandinavian in this country, or French, or English, or I don't know. How do you make white people? But see, they don't consider themselves those white people. So their big issue is, we're dying, so we have to purify the race. We have to get rid of these other people. You see, they don't think like, okay, my race is just going to mingle in with everybody else's. The black community don't care, especially not in Africa, where everybody there's black, or look black, or you can tell they're black. And that continent is 3 times the size of the United States. So where's the people? That's right. It's an imbalance. But see, this one group of people here, these are the people that I have to talk with and communicate with, simply because of the fact that when we talked about these 7 deadly sins and how these races and these cultures and these people come here, we're talking about the same thing. Because when it comes to pride, the wealthy want to be somewhere that's pristine. That may be Carmel. Yeah, they're there. They don't like each other. They don't speak to each other. Really, they can't, because everybody speaks a different language. Now, this is the future of the United States. You've got this great country with all these people that have this money, but they don't communicate with each other. Now, if you think that's great, bless you. Okay? Because you're seeing it from your point of view. Now, I'm saying Elvis Presley, Kennedys, the Gates, David Gilmour, because, see, in this country, okay, the Gates, the Kennedys, and Elvis Presley, these people, they embraced the black community as part of a non-selfish mode. Because, I mean, come on, Elvis Presley gave away probably more cars than General Motors to black people. And I mean, gave them away. Here, take this. You need a ride, take this. I mean, it was in the news all the time. Houses, cars, concerts, everything. Because those are the people he grew around with in Tupelo. So, you got to remember, when you have a background, but see, the thing is, for some reason or another, you white people, you believe that just our existence is bad. Simply because of all the things you hear and all the things you do. And see, this is your undoing. This is why your life is so tumultuous. See, because I don't really care. And here I am. I mean, my biggest issue is right now I got a fever blister. Thank God. But when it comes to cancers and hair falling out, and I can't see out of that eye, and next thing you know, I can't walk very good, and these are all issues that came from body, experience, that comes from your life. See, because when you want your heaven now, oh, you're going to get it. See, I didn't want heaven now. Like I said before, as a culture, as a black male in this country, I'm going to take this fight, because I believe this fight was here for a reason. I believe I was made this color for a reason. So I fight, and I'm not going to do something just because I want it bad. And you'll know now, that's why these people are these rich people. It's because they want it so bad, they'll hurt you for it. But see, you're the people that allow them to do that, because you can't do without them. You don't have a way. You're unable to communicate. So I'm thinking like this. If you look at the many contributions in the 20th century, at this point right now, if you look at just not the black culture, You look at all the rest of the cultures and how the progression moves towards separation. See, because when we went into this protesting issue, we brought the Hispanic people with us, the gay people, all these people. But see, when the Jews and the rest of these other Muslims, these Hindus, these people, you see, we're excluded. And this is all a racial issue. And I'm saying this simply because this communication affords me to give you an insight, because I'm still going to be the culture that I am. But see, I'm a servant. And I have to be obedient. So it doesn't make any difference what color I was. If I were white right now, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Probably because if I were white and I had the same savvy I have right now, I wouldn't be in this position. I'd be somewhere chasing money. But I'm glad. I'm so thankful that right now, no matter even in this situation, look what I have. I have something to look forward to. I need a houseboat, a big one. I need a new truck. I think I'm going to go in the transportation business too. There's things that I want to do. Still, I'm even thinking, well, maybe if some woman will have me, I might want to start another family. Look at me. My God, man, I'm getting pissed off just because I'm going to outlive everybody. It's like, wow, man. And now I'm feeling really health conscious. So my culture has an adaptability issue that is created separation. Because now I'm at a point where my race should have evolved, but it didn't. Not in this country, not in this social environment. So, like I've said before, I need to change that social environment to where I can continue to be what I am right now. And that's, I'm applicable. I like to do things with anybody that wants to do things with me. There's certain things that I want to do. Like I said before, I want a houseboat. There's things that need to be done. But if the weather goes bad or all these other things turn bad, I'm going to change that. Simply because I'm adaptable. Simply because my culture creates a situation to where I say, all right, I want to go do this, but I can't because of prejudice. Because of small midget people that are upset because I'm 6'6", and I'm able to communicate. I don't really care about you. You know something? You have a problem with your family and your wife and everything in your life simply because you don't like me. Remember what the scripture says. It says if you have aught against your brother, and that's me. See, because regardless of this skin right here, I'm still the same thing you are underneath. And see that, and God says I'm your brother and you're my brother. See, I don't have nothing against you just because you hate me. Go right ahead. And I've said this before. I don't have to answer for you. So, here we are. The advancements in these cultures create this separation. Simply because now I'm beginning to see, and you are too, whether those are inventions, because now look at the televisions. Look at the various programmings that are going on. You'll see the same thing that is going on in some of the other cultures that happened here, but in a time ago. Like right now. Well, it's not maybe just right now, but sometime in the past, and maybe the Asian community was really inspired by our Western life and civilization issues, to where we had to come out through these progressive issues, ride a horse with a cart, and the stage, and the telegraph, and the mail, and blah 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 blah. But see, what I understand is, you see, when you regress backwards, you create a problem simply because you're not willing to really blaze the future as we are now. Because in this country right now, flying cars, oh, get with them, Mr. Jetsons. Come on now. No, it can be done, will be done. Look at now. The drones have changed everything because now we can see everything. And I got a thing for the fact that if we go back to the police, why is there 1,000 police standing around in one spot? Use 2 drones. Homeboy, you got a 360 going on here. Tell them people to go back to work. Because now, you'll notice, even the other races in the other countries now are beginning to say, wait a minute. We're now being influenced by this country called the United States, and they're going to stop that. I bet you sooner enough, our currency issues are going to be disbanded from other countries. You won't be able to use our currency in other countries. And that's exactly what these other countries are going to do. Why? Because they're going to show the fact that your power doesn't exist here anymore. And you can thank Donald Trump for that. See, because Donald Trump thinks that his money is global money. He can go and buy and do what he wants to. But see, that very same premise is going to destroy this country because the wealthiest people are not in this country. And the people that are in this country that are wealthy, they don't buy nothing in my community. They don't help my community. And that's another issue why the races are the way they are, is because the wealthy, which doesn't even have 1% of black people within this wealthy group, or the what do they call them, the 2%ers or whatever, 99 or whatever it was before the protests, before the Black Lives guys. See, the whole issue is all these protests and all these other things, these are just instigators. Just like I saw this guy the other day, he was over in Berkeley. The dude reached around the corner, bap, hit this dude over the head with a bag of batteries. Wow! I bet that hurt, but guaranteed, Trump and some of his group, people like Trump and his friends, those people are the ones that aggravate. They do. Why? Because they know that they have the money, they can cause you to act and be evil. If you look at the way the rich, the wealthy in this country are, they're just like the devil. See, because the devil can only tempt you. The devil can't make you or force you to do anything. And that's what rich people do. They will tempt you. I've got this money. How many of them are good looking? So they're not going to say, well, hey, look at me, I look good. Okay, let's get that straight. So if we look at the issues at hand, and we say, the races will be such and such and such and such. No, it's all just going to be separation from now on. Pretty soon they'll be going into communities and, because even now, and it wasn't just now, it always happens. Where even as we were growing up, the Hispanic community would buy, but my family did the same thing. I mean, we have half a block, okay, with nothing just for our relatives on the block. I get it. So it's nothing but that's what's going to start happening now. It'll be just like Chinatown. It's all China or Japanese or whatever. But these people it's already starting to happen. It's already going on. But now it's going to get worse. Why? Because of the immigration issue, number one. Then on top of that, it's going to be the money issue. Because the rich Mexicans don't like the rich Hindus. And vice versa. So you have to look at it and say, well, why? Why is all this occurring? And see, this is the design. This is not a mishap. This is a design. Why? Simply because of the influence. And then the weak mind. And the fact that at some point or another, you can be swayed. Regardless of what culture you're in, what race you may be, it still boils down to the same thing. And that's why the equalness of this all is so gifted by God. Simply because he wants everybody to be treated the same. But see, then once that same comes into place, because then it's a matter of, okay, well, if everybody gets treated the same, then why is it my Cadillac or the things that I have are not accessible to everybody else? Why? Because they're mine. And that's where it all goes bad. But hey, it's okay though, because again, I don't have to answer for that. That's why I feel good with these types of communications, simply because, I can't give you resolve on everything, but what I can do is just open the door and say, listen, by communicating, we dispel some of these issues. We dispel the fact that, okay, maybe the Hindus don't like the Afghanistans. But we know that's happening because they're right next to each other and they're warring. Okay, well, let's say the Muslims, which is in a whole bunch of countries, don't like the Christians. Bad business. They're not going to stop. Haven't stopped yet. It's just like the Jews. The Jews don't like the Palestinians. Come on, man. We went through this many times. So, if we look at the issues at hand, we say racist. If you can't get along, then don't expect anything, because right now, this is all going to go bad. We already know this. This is the future. So, let's stop complaining at least. Let's just get our minds and rights and our whole existence in place, because right now I'm not your problem. Believe me. I don't care if you think for some reason I'm trying to undermine you. I ain't got no money to undermine you. Neither do the majority of the black people in this country. We don't even have the time to sit here and care whether or not you have pimples or your skin is discolored. Nobody cares. You're wasting your money because the black community don't care. And I don't care which one of these cultures is making you buy your hair and do all these things and make you do stuff and throw your money away so you can look good. Well, you're wasting your time, and it's going to rot. And rot bad. Because if I remember correctly, the scriptures say, yeah, evil will rot from within. So hey, listen, hey, good talk. Hey, next week, you know something? We're going to talk about the church. We having issues here. And then Father's Day's coming up, and then my birthday. So, time's rapid. Here it is 6 months later. I'm amazed. Amazed. Amazed and amazed. So, over the next 2 years, we got to look at this world turning itself upside down. Why? Because Donald Trump, if he's not exited now, within the 2-year time, everybody will hate everybody. Guaranteed. So, you know, God bless you. I hope things are working out well. But look, you're going to have to do better. You're going to have to change this run. You have to stop wanting. Stop thinking that for some reason you have to have something. You don't. You don't. Stop it. Just stop, and listen. Just listen. Because if you're listening, you're paying attention. Thank you. God bless.